Hello friends, tell me if you can relate to this scenario. You feel overwhelmed, physically tired, and mentally exhausted, so you decide to take some time off. Maybe you take a whole mental health day, or you take half a day to yourself. You are really hoping that this time off will help you reset, clear your mind, and maybe create a little bit of order in your life. So on your day off, you decide to run a couple of errands, catch up on a few chores, grab some lunch, go home and watch a Netflix show, and maybe you even end the day with some takeout and a bubble bath. But then it hits you, your day off is over. It's time to go back to the grind. And so you start to experience a feeling of dread. Maybe you even feel this dread when you go on longer vacations. If that's the case, let's consider that your days off are not the solution or the problem. What you and I probably need to do is take a closer look at how we spend our days on. I often think about how I can have a better experience every day and how I can create the kind of life I don't need to escape from. What would it take to create the kind of life I don't need to take a break from for the sake of my sanity? I'm currently reading a book called Anti-Time Management by Richie Norton, and it's full of interesting concepts. One of them that truly resonates with me is this idea that we tend to unnecessarily delay the things that we desire the most. And to live our best lives, we need to embed our end goal, which the book refers to as our final cause, into our daily life. I really enjoy this idea of starting with the end in mind and reverse engineering how to get from where we are to there, removing all unnecessary steps. Richie talks about using higher order thinking to work through our goals, our meta goals, and our final cause. Basically, he's inviting us to think about the bigger goals behind our goals. So if your goal is to write a blog, maybe the goal behind that is that you would like to one day publish a book. And maybe the goal behind that is that you would like to become a well-respected and well-paid public speaker. Once you identify the final cause of becoming a public speaker, you can then think of all the ways you could accomplish that and pick the shortest path. By exploring what we ultimately want, we can rethink how we have decided to go about it and remove anything that overly complicates the process. I think this is a great exercise for anyone, because why not? Why not spend some time thinking about what you really want and figuring out the shortest way to get there? And why not incorporate aspects of what you truly want into your life today? When I read this, it made me think of a root cause analysis tool called the 5 Whys. This is a problem-solving tool that is often used in process improvement. But basically, you ask yourself why 5 times so you can get to the root of what you are trying to deal with. So going back to our example earlier, why do you want to start a blog? So you can build enough content so you can then publish that into a book. Why do you want to publish a book? Because you would like to become a topical authority on a particular subject. Why do you want to be an authority on the subject? Because you would like to become a highly qualified, highly regarded public speaker on the topic. And why do you want to be a public speaker on this topic? Because you would like to impact your knowledge on as many people as possible, and you want to be paid handsomely in the process. The twist I would like to explore from this idea in the book is that this way of thinking doesn't have to be only about long-term accomplishments or outward accomplishments exclusively. It can also be used to achieve intrinsic things like how we want to feel. I often catch myself saying things like, I just have to power through the next couple of weeks and then things will be easier. Or I just have to get through this project or through this stressful thing and then things will settle down. The problem is that things don't just get better on their own. My life doesn't magically just settle on its own unless I actively put in the effort to make that happen. Unexpected things and demands for our time will keep happening. It truly is wishful thinking to assume that somehow in the future, things will be magically better and easier. In order for our future to be very different than what we have today, there has to be a change to our patterns. Otherwise, our life is set up as a system which will continue to deliver the results that it is set up to create. So to change the results, you have to affect the system. One interesting illustration that Richie uses in the book is that you have to bake the ingredients into the cake from the beginning. I think it's best if I read a quote directly from the book on this. If the cake recipe calls for sugar in the list of ingredients, you put sugar in the bowl and mix before the cake is baked. If you don't, the cake will be baked with no sugar. The whole idea is that if you want your cake to have sugar in it, you have to put sugar in the ingredients from the beginning. So when you think about where you want to end up, how does it feel on the other side? If you are working really hard to pay off all your debt right now, maybe your end goal is to feel freedom or peace of mind. Similarly, depending on the goal you are working on right now, your end goal might be to feel successful or accomplished. Maybe it is to feel calm and at ease. Maybe it is to feel confident or put together. Now think about what are the micro ways that you can embed those kinds of feelings into your life today. If you want to feel successful or accomplished, you don't really need to wait until you make a certain amount of money or earn a particular degree or get a particular job. At a very micro level, you could start a daily ritual of writing down your accomplishments for the day. Maybe you do this on a weekly basis, whatever works for you. Another way to feel more successful and accomplished is to document the praise you receive at work and in your personal life. Anytime you accomplish something meaningful, taking some time to savor that feeling and actively looking for signs of your success. If the end goal is to feel calm and at peace, you don't have to wait until all your projects are done, until your house is absolutely perfect, and your to-do list is empty to feel great. On a micro level, you can carve out some time every day to practice breathing exercises or do some meditation. Maybe you can carve out time to be in nature several times a week. Whatever it is that makes you feel calm and centered. If your end goal is to feel more confident, you don't have to wait until you lose all the weight or get the job or get the title or complete the training. On a micro level, you can incorporate daily and weekly practices that make you feel more confident. Maybe you could work on standing and sitting tall and having impeccable posture. Maybe you can practice power poses in the morning. You could practice speaking with self-assurance. You can also work on maintaining eye contact and smiling when you come across someone. Your big goals and projects are still very much worthwhile, and you should continue to pursue them if you want to. But the feelings and the sense of self that you are after that you think will happen at the end of your goals are actually accessible to you right now. You don't have to delay them indefinitely and make them contingent upon something else. If those are the things you are truly longing for, why not find a way to make them happen at a micro level today? It will only make your journey that much more enjoyable as you continue to work on your goals and your projects. The month of December is a great time for us to examine what it is that we truly want and think about ways to bridge the gap between where we are and where we would like to be. So what does a life well lived look like for you? And how can you incorporate elements of that into your life today? The way Richie describes it, we are bringing the future to the present. And I kind of like that. As always, please remember to take care of yourselves and practice self-compassion. I'll see you in the next video.